Hey guys, this is Kris Jones for episode 36 of Ask Me Anything. Today we have a question from Mr. Triathlete, Mr. Vice President of a print shop, you're a sales ninja, and all-around great guy, Sean Daney. And when I say great guy, to put it into perspective, I think you're probably one of the most likable people that I've ever met. You have like that perfect sort of like, what was the thing way back when we were kids? Leave It to Beaver kind of families, beautiful wife, healthy, gorgeous children. You find time to bike and to be out in the community and do things. I mean, you're a tremendous guy. And two things. One, I appreciate us being friends. Two, I appreciate you watching my AMA videos and participating, which for those of you that are watching that know me, I really do encourage you to start getting active about the decisions you make in your life. In a future AMA, I intend to tackle that head on. So, Sean asked me a question. He says, and I appreciate this, it says, you've obviously been very successful running multiple businesses. I have a number of ideas or pursuits of passion that I'm always thinking about pursuing, but I'm cautious about any potential effects on my primary business. So you serve as vice president of a print company. You continue, it's not a matter of work, as I love the challenge and enjoy working, but with only so many hours in a day, can I dedicate the time necessary to adequately launch a second endeavor? Sean, it is all about maximizing time and productivity. And the truth is you have more time than you think. Importantly, to spend more time doing the things you are most passionate about. You have more time than you think to do the types of things, make the types of decisions that you care most about, that you're most passionate about. So, I meant to pull my phone out. I have it here. I just wanted to kind of walk you guys through one. Actually, I left it upstairs, but nonetheless. I wanted to walk you guys quickly through kind of a week in my life. I was kind of looking at my calendar earlier, and then at any given week, there's a couple of, I'm doing multiple things. So I am juggling a number of different things that I care about. I'm either accomplishing things or moving closer to goals that I have set for myself. But they're probably not so materially driven, among other things that you guys may assume, or maybe that's the way some people that are watching this are, that your whole day is spent around, one or two tasks. So sort of a week in my life might look something like this. Every single day, I allocate at least an hour to 2 hours to reading, personal, professional development. I don't read fiction stuff. I'm more interested in stuff that I could, improve either my knowledge or my skill set, or I also like to connect to, from a spirituality standpoint. So often I'll be reading stuff on spirituality just to try to yin yang and balance my life. The high achiever Kris Jones that you guys know me as, but I'm actually very driven as well for, personal spirituality and balance. So each day I'm allocating some time for reading. I, as you guys know, manage multiple startups, so I'm scheduling time with some of those startup founders. I also manage several businesses, so I'm allocating time toward that. I am volunteering at my kids' school. I am participating in multiple local boards of directors or boards of trustees, among other things. So I'm traveling a lot. I'm raising capital. I just recently closed this past Friday a $1.5 million round of capital that nobody knew outside of my inner circle that I was even raising. So Sean, when you ask, can you, there are only so many hours in a day, and can you dedicate the time necessary to adequately launch a second endeavor? So I'm about to share with you how I do what I do. And I think the answer will be very direct, that you could do a lot more by spending less time on the things you don't like to do that aren't moving you closer to your goals, and more time on the things that you're deeply passionate about and are getting you closer to your goals. So I use, and I've mentioned this before, but I'm going to go ahead and kind of walk you through it right now. I use a method called the rapid planning method. And I'm going to walk you through the 5 or 6 steps. So first, now by the way, this sounds robotic, it's mechanical, yes. But if you want to accomplish more, if you want to make more progress in your life, it's kind of like the theme of these first 36 AMAs. You got to stop being passive and get active. Find, success leaves clues. Find tools, find tips, find strategies, find mentors. So I've been using this process, this method called rapid planning method for many years. Those people that know me best know that as I walk through this, I'll share some anecdotal stories with you, but know that this is a big part of my life. So first, you need to select one day per week where you're going to dedicate, let me put it this way, you're going to spend at least 1 hour with yourself, by yourself, minimal distractions, especially early on, because it's going to be important that you stay focused on executing the process, executing this method. But 1 hour per week. Tony Robbins calls this his hour of power. For me, it's been best on Sunday evenings. It's just kind of like a wind down in my family. The whole family, including my wife, knows that I'm going to be dedicating an hour sometime between probably 7 p.m. and 10 p.m. To spend some time with myself and to go through this process. So step 1, find that hour. Make it a must. I'm not asking you a question here. I'm telling you, this is what you got to do. Dedicate 1 hour. And you're going to be surprised how many hours in a day you come up with to spend time doing the things you love. Second, this is a physical process. Make sure you have a piece of paper. You would be blown away by, I've been so consistent with this process over the years, just how many pieces of paper. I actually do it digitally now. I save it in a Dropbox folder, and it's called My Hour of Power, and I go in and do this. But you jot down all the various things you'd like to accomplish. Include everything at first, any commitments you made on the fly during the prior week, and also include personal and professional things you want to spend your time on. I think that kind of explains itself. Like I said, at first, just jot down as many things that come to your mind. You don't have to debate it in your head, just jot it down. So once you have your list and you're sitting with yourself in peace and quiet, so the third thing you want to do is you want to take a close look at that list. Look for relationships between things. Take your time. You might need 2 hours the first couple of weeks. Honestly, this will become rote. It'll become, you'll be planning this in your head so that by the time you get to your hour of power, you are a machine. It probably won't even take an hour. Sometimes I take an hour or more, but generally speaking, you'll get better with practice. When you're looking for relationships between the types of things that you want to accomplish, you'll also see certain themes. It might be like, wow, I want to lose weight, or I want to train for the triathlon, which I know you're doing. It might be, I want to make a commitment to spending more time with Jamie or with your children. It might be, I want to grow sales by 5% month over month for the next 12 months. It might be, I want to increase my income by 20% by December 31st. So, you want to capture all of these different things. And you start looking for relationships. And you'll also start to think through how you could, as you go through this process, start to schedule your time so that you're moving closer to your goal. Each week doesn't have to be, a test to see how many things you accomplish. It's not going to be the end decider of whether or not you've had a productive week and that you've managed your time wisely. It's more about, are you doing the things you care most about, and are you moving closer to your goals? If you can knock things off the list, knock things off the list. In fact, when you're looking for relationships, that's part of what I do is like, come on, what's the lowest hanging fruit here? Okay, I'm going to Scranton anyway, so while I go to Scranton, I'm going to stop and get a dozen roses for Robin. I'm going to stop and see my friend Matt, who's in Scranton, and then I'm gonna go do whatever I need to do in Scranton. So I'm looking for relationships so I can knock a number of birds out with one stone. And one of the cool things about that is all of a sudden you start making more of the time that you have. If you don't plan for that, that could be 3 trips to Scranton, right? And by the way, I wanted to meet with Matt. By the way, buying a dozen roses for Robin is consistent with what I've promised in the past, which is to do things over this entire year that she's not expecting that express my love for her. But so you get it, right? So you're looking for relationships. Let's see here. As I mentioned, start grouping some things together. That process of grouping is called chunking, and it's a tool to accomplish more with less time, as I just kind of walked you through. But anyway, look at the relationships. You have your sheet of paper, circle things, draw arrows to figure out relationships. I spent a lot of time there on that 3rd step, wasn't on purpose, but the reality is it is important. That's part of the whole secret here to maximizing the limited amount of time that you have. 4th, you need to prioritize the items on your list. Remember I said to you to capture everything you possibly can? There's going to be some stuff that is just silly. There's going to be some stuff on there that just, who cares? Like, it's inconsistent. You've got to learn how to say no. We all do, to things that we don't care much about, right? That's a skill, that's a talent. But prioritize. Maybe getting, in my case, Robin, but in your case, Jamie, a dozen roses is like the most important thing you want to accomplish this coming week. Put a big 1 next to that. Whereas other things might be 2s or 3s or 4s. I wouldn't go beyond that and don't overcomplicate it. The point is to prioritize that list as step 4. Step 5, write down why you want to accomplish the most important items on your list. I know you've watched previous videos. For those of you that haven't, in several of the videos, in fact, one I dedicated almost an entire episode to this idea of asking yourself why you do the things that you do. And if there's a goal that you have, getting really clear on why you want to achieve that goal, making it an absolute must is critical. So the 5th step in this process, once you have your list, once you prioritized it, is to have some fun, man. Have some fun with it. Make your why visceral, meaning emotional. Make it something, again, make it a must, not a should. You'll end up shoulding all over yourself. You need to make it a must and get really emotional about it, but have fun with it. It's not like some, deeply dark process. It's actually an invigorating, passionate, high energy type of process. Your why should drive you to action. So spend some time on that and make it emotional when you're doing it. This is a private process. Nobody's going to be looking over your shoulder, but let's get serious about you maximizing your time and spending more time doing the things that you care most about. And again, if you want to see my schedule, man, come on over here to the loft and I'll show you. This is not only possible and doable, but it's extraordinary how much time we think we don't have that we actually have to dramatically change the quality of our lives. You felt that, right? That came right from the hip, right from the heart, right? I didn't read that. So finally, this is the most important part of the process. I mentioned my calendar several times. The final step in the process is to schedule the items that you agreed are most important for this upcoming week, right? Schedule your highest priorities first. In the prior week, you may have made some commitments. I need to meet so-and-so on Tuesday at 10. I need to pick up the kids from school early on Thursday. I've got a class function or play or something for another kid on Friday morning. These get scheduled. these don't need to make it to your hour of power. These things are obviously important. So you're putting them on your calendar the week before, maybe even weeks before, months before. I know my wife, I ask her, I was like, Robin, you know my process. So try to get me these things, especially kids' commitments and alone time with her and stuff that she wants. I tell her to get that on my calendar. Yes, I know it sounds robotic, but you ask me a question, I'm giving you an answer. So yeah, start with your highest priorities, the ones, the things that are most important. And I know you well enough to know that your ones are fucking juicy. They're the ones that you do more ones on a weekly basis. And for such a happy guy like yourself, I know the quality of your life will improve immeasurably. I guarantee it. So schedule those ones first. So you need to do this every week. You need to do it every single week. I never miss. As I said earlier, you need to learn how to say no and get more control over whether or not the things that you're committing your time to are getting you closer or further from your goals. As you go through this process, you'll see like, whoa, like I have more control than I thought over some of the big, hairy, audacious, and big visionary goals that you have. Starting a new business. I have a friend, Mark, who I went to law school with. This guy bench presses like 500 pounds. He might even be more than that. I know that he deadlifts like a crazy amount. I mean, this is a guy that had to set goals over a long period of time to become one of the strongest people, I think, in America. I know in New York State, where he's from. My point is that, in order to achieve the level of success that he had, in his case, weightlifting, or to achieve the level of success that we want to in whatever it is that we want to accomplish, I think this is probably most appropriate in your case for training for triathlons or training for cycling events. So you get it. But as you're doing this, you can use this same exercise to schedule things monthly, quarterly, annually. I don't. It's just a personal preference. The rapid planning method does have some additional tools and whatnot to do that. But for me, the week to week has given me as much control as I need over my life, and it feels like there's absolutely no question that I have, as much as I do, as many things I'm involved with, I have more control over my schedule and my life than almost anyone I know, which is kind of bizarre. So, you mentioned business, maybe a passion to start a side business. My recommendation would be you'd be surprised what you could accomplish in 2 hours or 5 hours a week, spread across multiple days. As long as you're focused during that period of time on moving your whatever business idea you have forward. Within a month, 2 months, you could have a lot of the groundwork done. If you put a business plan together, if you're going to put together a pitch deck to raise some capital. And also, one other little secret, if you want to be a high-achieving person like I am, is learn how to hire smart people and partner with smart people and just get out of their way, let them lead. So I do have a lot going on, but I also associate myself with people that are able to do a lot of the day-to-day work that I would rather not spend my time on. And they're not only better than me at that, they allow me to accomplish much more. So anyway, that's my long-winded response, but hopefully an actionable response, an actionable answer to your question on how you can, with the quote-unquote limited time that you have available, spend some time doing some of the things, moving some of the things forward that you're most passionate about. Hope you found value, and I will see you in the next Ask Me Anything.